Polyvinyl chloride conduit can be used within a concrete slab for a receptacle installation, such as at the foot of a dental chair. It is important to ensure compliance with the National Electrical Code or NEC and local regulations when installing electrical conduit in concrete slabs. Firstly, the specific type of polyvinyl chloride conduit must be approved for direct burial or encasement in concrete, as not all types are suitable. Secondly, the conduit must be installed in a manner that prevents damage from physical stresses such as expansion and contraction of the concrete. Thirdly, proper sealing of the conduit ends is crucial to prevent moisture from entering the system, which could lead to corrosion or electrical faults. Fourthly, grounding and bonding requirements must be strictly adhered to, ensuring a safe electrical path to ground. Consider the NEC Article 300.5, which covers underground installations. It specifies requirements for minimum burial depths, which may not be directly applicable in a slab, but the principles of protection against physical damage are relevant. The concrete itself provides a degree of physical protection. However, care should be taken during the concrete pouring process to avoid damaging the conduit. Ensure the conduit is adequately supported and secured before the pour. Also, consider the type of fittings used. Use fittings specifically designed for polyvinyl chloride conduit to maintain a watertight seal. Avoid using excessive amounts of solvent cement, as this can weaken the joint. Apply the cement evenly and allow sufficient time for it to cure properly. Another consideration is the location of the receptacle. Ensure it is readily accessible for maintenance and repair. If the receptacle is located in a damp or wet location, use a weatherproof enclosure and a ground fault circuit interrupter or GFCI for additional safety. The NEC Article 406.9 covers receptacles in damp or wet locations. It mandates the use of weatherproof enclosures and GFCI protection in certain situations. When selecting the size of the conduit, consider the number and size of the conductors that will be installed within it. The NEC Chapter 9 contains tables that specify the maximum number of conductors allowed in a conduit of a given size. Do not exceed these limits, as this can lead to overheating and potential fire hazards. Also, consider the ampacity of the conductors. Ensure the conductors are sized appropriately for the load they will be serving. The NEC Table 310.15b16 provides ampacity ratings for various conductor sizes and insulation types. Certain factors may need to be applied if multiple conductors are bundled together or if the ambient temperature is high. When pulling conductors through the conduit, use a pulling lubricant to reduce friction and prevent damage to the insulation. Avoid using excessive force, as this can also damage the conductors. If the conduit run is long or has many bends, consider using a pulling elbow or junction box to make the pulling process easier. After the installation is complete, test the circuit to ensure it is working properly and that there are no ground faults or short circuits. Use a multimeter or circuit tester to verify the voltage and continuity of the circuit. Label the circuit breaker or fuse that serves the receptacle to facilitate future maintenance and troubleshooting. Document the location of the conduit run and the receptacle on the electrical plans. This will help prevent accidental damage during future construction or renovation work. If the installation involves low voltage wiring, such as for data or communications, separate the low voltage wiring from the power wiring. This will prevent interference and ensure proper operation of the low voltage equipment. Use separate conduits or raceways for the low voltage wiring. The NEC Article 725 covers low voltage power and signal circuits. It specifies requirements for separation and protection of low voltage wiring. When working with electricity, always follow safe work practices. To energize the circuit before working on it. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as insulated gloves and safety glasses. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, hire a licensed electrician. They have the knowledge and experience to ensure the installation is done safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. In addition to the NEC, local codes and regulations may also apply. Check with the local electrical inspector to determine if there are any specific requirements for installing conduit and concrete slabs in your area. They may have additional requirements for grounding, bonding, or physical protection. Remember that electrical codes and regulations are constantly evolving. Stay up to date on the latest changes to ensure your work is in compliance. The NEC is typically updated every 3 years. Consider attending continuing education courses or subscribing to industry publications to stay informed. Also, be aware of the potential for corrosion when using polyvinyl chloride conduit in concrete. Concrete can be alkaline, which can corrode certain metals. However, polyvinyl chloride is resistant to corrosion, making it a suitable choice for this application. If you are using metallic conduit, such as galvanized steel, protect it from corrosion by coating it with a corrosion-resistant material. Consider using epoxy-coated conduit or wrapping it with a protective tape. When installing conduit in a slab, consider the thickness of the slab. Ensure the conduit is adequately covered with concrete to provide physical protection and prevent cracking. The minimum concrete cover required may vary depending on the local code requirements. Consult with a structural engineer to determine the appropriate concrete cover for your application. Also, consider the potential for settlement of the slab. If the slab is likely to settle, provide expansion joints in the conduit to prevent it from cracking or breaking. Expansion joints allow the conduit to move without putting stress on the surrounding concrete. When installing receptacles in a slab, consider the type of flooring that will be installed over the slab. If the flooring is non-conductive, such as carpet or vinyl, the receptacle can be mounted flush with the floor. However, if the flooring is conductive, such as tile or concrete, the receptacle must be recessed below the floor surface to prevent electrical shock hazards. The NEC Article 406.4d covers receptacles and floors. It specifies requirements for recessed receptacles and floor boxes. Also, consider the potential for water intrusion when installing receptacles in a slab. If the slab is located in a damp or wet location, use a watertight floor box and a weatherproof receptacle cover. This will prevent water from entering the receptacle and causing electrical problems. Remember that proper planning and execution are essential for safe and reliable electrical installation. Take the time to carefully consider all of the factors involved and follow all applicable codes and regulations. If you have any questions or concerns, consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector. They can provide guidance and ensure your installation is done correctly. In summary, using polyvinyl chloride conduit in a concrete slab for a receptacle is generally acceptable, provided that you follow all applicable codes and regulations, use appropriate materials and installation techniques, and take steps to protect against physical damage, moisture, and corrosion. By paying attention to these details, you can ensure safe and reliable electrical installation. Furthermore, the selection of the proper polyvinyl chloride conduit is essential. Schedule 40 polyvinyl chloride is commonly used for encasement in concrete due to its durability and resistance to crushing. However, always verify that the specific polyvinyl chloride conduit chosen is listed and labeled for the intended application. Proper support of the polyvinyl chloride conduit during the concrete pour is also important. Use straps or supports to hold the conduit in place and prevent it from shifting or floating during the pour. Space the supports adequately to prevent sagging or deflection of the conduit. In addition to grounding the receptacle, ensure that the metal components of the electrical system, such as the conduit and junction boxes, are properly bonded to ground. This provides a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and preventing electrical shock hazards. The NEC Article 250 covers grounding and bonding requirements. It specifies the size and type of grounding conductors required for various applications. Also, consider the potential for electromagnetic interference, or EMI, when installing electrical conduit. Electrical circuits can generate electromagnetic fields that can interfere with the operation of sensitive electronic equipment. To minimize EMI, keep the power wiring separate from the low voltage wiring and use shielded cables for the low voltage circuits. The NEC Article 300.3c covers the separation of power and low voltage wiring. It specifies requirements for separating different types of circuits to prevent interference. When installing conduit in a slab, be aware of the potential for damage from rodents. Rodents can gnaw on the conduit and damage the insulation, creating electrical hazards. To protect against rodent damage, use a conduit material that is resistant to rodent gnawing, such as metal conduit. You can also use rodent-resistant sealant to seal the ends of the conduit and prevent rodents from entering. Also, consider the potential for chemical exposure when installing conduit in a slab. If the slab is located in an area where it may be exposed to chemicals, such as a laboratory or manufacturing facility, use a conduit material that is resistant to chemical attack. Polyvinyl chloride conduit is generally resistant to most chemicals, but it is always a good idea to consult with the chemical manufacturer to ensure compatibility. When installing receptacles in a slab, consider the height of the receptacle above the floor. The NEC requires that receptacles be installed at a certain height above the floor to prevent them from being damaged by water or debris. The specific height requirement may vary depending on the local code requirements. Also, consider the accessibility of the receptacle for people with disabilities. The Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, requires that receptacles be accessible to people with disabilities. This may require installing the receptacle at a certain height above the floor or using a receptacle with a larger opening. In addition to the above considerations, it is also important to document the installation thoroughly. Keep detailed records of the conduit run, the location of the receptacles, and the materials used. This will be helpful for future maintenance and repairs. Also, consider taking photographs or videos of the installation before the concrete is poured. This can be helpful for locating the conduit if it ever needs to be accessed in the future. Finally, remember that electrical safety is paramount. Always follow safe work practices and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns. By taking these precautions, you can ensure a safe and reliable electrical installation in a concrete slab.